In this video, we are going to talk about public groups. We are going to divide this section into three parts. We'll be talking about what is public groups, where can we use public groups, and how we can create public groups in Salesforce, how to implement public group in Salesforce. So without wasting any time, let's talk about what is public group. So basically, a public group is a collection of individual users, other groups, individual roles, and or roles with their subordinate that all have a function in common. So basically we'll be combining all the users, all the individual roles or the groups into one public group so that we can share, and so that at every time we need not to include, if I want to share some report or dashboard with a particular set of users, I need not to add every user each time. Instead of doing that, I can just define all the users or set of specific roles to a particular public group, and I can give the access of that specific dashboard or report to access to that particular group. So public group consists of a set of users which only have certain users, and these are created to groups who have different profiles. So the purpose of having public groups is to assign things or resources to it which are meant to be seen or used by everyone in the organization. Another way of applying the public group is that it serves the purpose of assigning things. There's a difference between public groups and permission sets. So groups differ from permission set groups in that they only contain users, while permission set groups manage permission sets based on user needs. So this is the primary difference between permission set groups and the public groups. Now talking about where can we use public groups. So public groups are used to extend sharing rules beyond role hierarchy in Salesforce. So in public groups, we will not be talking about just about the roles, but we have users, we have roles and their subordinates. So we have a different set of users which can be defined under a public group. Secondly, making a data or resource to everybody available to everybody in an organization may be cumbersome and time consuming, but by assigning it to a public group, it can be done with one click. So you just need to extend access to one public group, and by giving that, all the users and role or profiles which comes under that public group will have the access to that particular report or dashboard or some other record. We use public groups to bring together individuals with different roles and allow them to see similar data. So we have talked about report and dashboard thing and sharing rules. So by using public groups, we need not to include every user. We need not to add user one by one or roles one by one. Instead of doing that, we can just group all these users and set of roles into one public group, and we can simply extend the access to that public group to make it available for the users. Now, what all things can we have inside a public group? So public groups can have users, roles and subordinates, and other public groups as well. So we can have multiple public groups in one public group. So I suppose I have public group A and public group B with different sets of users. Suppose I want a public group C which sits on the top. So I want all the users of public group A and public group B. So I can just include the public group A and B and make a new public group C. So by that, I can just cut down the cumbersome task of adding users to a group or roles to a group. Now let's see how to create public groups in Salesforce. So this is my Salesforce home screen. I just need to go to the setup. There you go. In setup home, in the quick find box, you just need to type in public group. Now under user, you see the public group. Just click on the public groups to create a public group. So yeah, currently I can see there is no record to display. That means there is no such public group that is defined in my Salesforce org. There's a button by the name new. So I'll click on the button new to create a new public group. Now it has asked me to give a label to the public group. So let's say I want to give it a label that this should be called as group group for New York State. It automatically fetch the group name, group for New York State. Now I can just simply add different set of public groups roles. So currently we do not have any public group, that is why it is not showing any available member in this. Once I go to the roles, I can see different roles in here. So let's say SVP customer service and support is some role that I want to add. So I simply click on the add button, and the members which comes under this role will be the selected members for the newly created group. I want some roles and subordinates. So in this, let's say I again want SVP human resource as well when I talk about roles and subordinates, which should be there in the newly created group. Now let's add few more users. Currently I have 4 users, so I'll just quickly add 2 of them, Emily Clark and Alex Johnson. So now I have one role as SVP customer service support role members who will be there in my newly created group. If I talk about role and subordinates, SVP human resources one roles and subordinate group that whose members I want to add in this newly created group. And then I have added 2 more users to it. Now I simply go and click on the save button to create this public group. Now I can see I have created a new public group by the name Group for New York State, and it will have the members that I have initially added. So I have added one role in subordinates, and a couple of users in the public group. Now for the reports and dashboard, you just need to give access to this particular public group, and all the users, all the members which falls under this particular role and subordinate, and these 2 users will have the access for the same. So in this way we can cut down the cumbersome task of assigning a public group, and it can be done by a single click by giving access to this only particular public group. I hope this was helpful, and please do let us know the feedback in the comment section below. Thank you.